Okay, so Peter Thiel says that competition is overrated and in practice is quite destructive and should be avoided wherever possible. And it's, avoiding competition is much better than fighting for scraps in the existing markets, right? And you should just create a new market. But how do you actually create a new market, right? So I'll show you how to actually do that later. But first of all, why? Why is competition overrated, right? So it makes no sense to actually fight in a space where people have more money, more resources, more insights, more time in the industry, more case studies than you, more partnerships built up than you, right? So, but you're going into a niche where there's so much competition because it's proven, right? So I basically saw a video from Doug today. It was his guide for new content creators, and he basically talked about like finding a side entrance to the content creation space. And he didn't really do any storytelling. He did storytelling videos, right? Some gaming and dumb challenges videos, like I played like Mario with only my toes or whatever, just like dumb stuff like that, right? But he tried each individual one, and he didn't see results. But when he combined both together, and both were his flow state tasks, more on that later. But both were both were things that he had strengths in, right? And he found that out. And when he combined both of them together, he created his own genre of videos. And not everyone loves that, but he's the only like YouTuber who does that really well because those are his strengths, right? And when he combined both, he actually popped off on YouTube finally. And he explained it through this, right? So there's 10,000 fast food restaurants out there in, let's just say like 10,000, right? And there's two businessmen. There's businessman A, right? He notices that Five Guys is somewhat successful, so he copies them. But then he gets less results than them because, like, let's say he assumed he perfectly copied Five Guys down to the taste. He got the same supplier, everything like that, right? But he got less results. So why is that? Now he's the thing. He's a ripoff to Five Guys, right? So there's a better version of Five Guys either way, and there's a better version of what he's offering. So people already like and trust Five Guys. So there's no reason to actually go to this guy, to businessman A, right? But then there's businessman B, and he's not really good at cooking. He just cooks himself to start the business, right? But he's just trying to cut costs. But let's say he doesn't know how to cook well, but he just knows a little, right? And he knows how to cook some good burgers and spaghetti and stuff like that, right? But then he starts his own strengths. Like he has two strengths that are like somewhat good, and he combines them and creates the first ever noodle burger restaurant, right? And there might not be too many people who like the food, right? It might be less than the total amount of people who like Five Guys because it's so niche. But the people who do like the food, they're going to be lifelong customers, right? And he sees his success because he created and also dominated his own market. And Tim Ferriss says in the book, 4 Hour Work Week, something like this, right? Basically says if you start off aiming to sell a product to dogs, right, then it's expensive to actually advertise to such a broad market. Because you're competing with too many products that that's out there, and there's too much free information out there. And then if you actually niche down, and he says like if you focus on how to train German shepherds, right, then the market shrinks and the competition shrinks as well. So instead of trying to say let's say there's 100,000, let's say 100 million in this market, right, and you always want like a just tiny amount of that, right? The tiny amount of revenue that goes through that market, which is like, let's say $10,000 per month. You just want that much, right? And let's say your goal is $50,000 per month. Well, you're $40,000 short per month, right? But then let's say you go down and niche down to a small market, right? Let's say like German shepherds, right? Let's say I actually don't know the numbers, but let's say it's like 1 million, right? 1/100th of the size. It's 1% of the size of the other market, and you're like, oh, okay, so I won't be able to make money. There's not enough people, right? Obviously, you're lying, you're bullshitting. But if you have that small market which hasn't been advertised or directly, I guess, tapped yet, then you can release product, right? And it's gonna be a lot more have a lot more resonation, and you're gonna have a bigger piece of that pie, but then the pie is smaller. But then let's say there's only 1 million in that whole market, and what flows through, and let's say instead of just getting the tiny sliver, $10,000 per month, you actually get $100,000 or $200,000 per month with the product. So you have a bigger piece of a smaller pie instead of a smaller piece of a big pie. And obviously this is like, I guess like if you listen to Alex Hormozy, he makes like he has a lot of emphasis on making the pie as big as possible. But in this case, when you're just starting out, you want to have like, you just want to make money, right? And then eventually you're gonna be able to just like increase the size of the pie, and like even that 1% is the same thing as like, you know, $100 or $200 million exit or something like that, something crazy, right? Well, probably not like that, but like still, just that's just the point, right? So you don't ever just like compete in like some random like industry that you don't know anything about, right? Just find your strengths and play to that. So here's actually how to do that, right? So write down every single thing that you know that you like doing, playing, you know, games, hanging out with friends, you know, servicing clients. If you like Facebook ads a lot, if you don't like writing Facebook ads, but you really like actually making the creative, if you like coaching people and you like analyzing like what they're doing wrong and saying here's the exact solution, just find out what you actually like doing, and then find out in each thing what do you actually like about it. Let's say in creating Facebook creatives and graphic design, you really like the challenges that, you know, it provides you, because you have to find a perfect match, make it look appealing, you know, and you just like the process of doing that, right? And then you find out like, okay, when I'm with my friends, I really like to just like do like random things and try to find out. I like the process of just like exploring new places with my friends. I like the, you know, the fact that we do something new, and then you find like all these things, right? And eventually, if you have, I have about 30 things in the thing list that I like to do, and then 2 or 3 things that I like about each thing, and then at the end, just take those things that you like doing from, you know, each thing, like what you actually like about each thing, which is like what does it incite in you? Like, do you feel happy? Do you like the process? Does it, you know, maybe like exhilarate you? Does it energize you? Like, what about it actually energizes you? Like the fact that you have to like write your words, the fact that you have to you know, like find footage, the fact that you have to make the music to actually do this, like anything, right? Then also like what's a motivator to do that? Like, why are you motivated to actually do it? And then take all the things that you like about whatever you had thing, right? You had all the things that you like doing, what you actually like about doing that thing. Take that, and you're gonna have like 2 main groups that you'll find, maybe 3. In the the third thing that you might like is probably just like an overarching theme about how you like to do things, right? So for me, it was I love learning, and I love actually developing and building something out of what I learned. So here I learned all of this, and this is for my benefit, but then I benefit as well by, you know, building my audience, by, you know, sharing this and building this into my business, and you benefit by learning this and building this into whatever you like, right? It might not be the same. Obviously for Doug it was just like storytelling and just doing dumb challenges, right? But you'll probably find 2 main patterns in all the things that you actually like doing, about the main things that you do every day. Then from that, those are your 2 main skill sets, and then the third thing that you might find, the third little bucket, that's like how you like to do things in most cases. If not, it might be the third thing that you like to do. In most cases, it's probably going to be a weak one if it has the least amount of things. But for me, it was just like learning the process of how to do things, doing it efficiently, and actually like talking myself through it. Like if it's a hard thing to do, I like to do that, right? Like working out, just things like that, right? Once you actually find that, then those are your main 2 skill sets, and you have to combine those 2 somehow. Now, if it like presents itself as some sort of like market that you want, I guess, then cool, you have your own new market. If it presents itself as some sort of I guess you could say like skill, like an actual skill, like learning and like developing, building, or like storytelling or something like that, then that's what you use to actually build an offer. And then honestly, just any life experience you have, that's your niche, and then just choose that, just go on into that, because you actually have like the, you know, extra information on that other people don't. So why not just play to the, you know, strength advantage that you already have, right? So you just use those skills to dominate, find an offer that you find an offer for your market that you want to dominate, and then actually dominate that market, right? But if you actually want me to help you build out this offer for you, and, you know, send 200 to 300 messages per hour with, you know, Instagram, Facebook, etc., to actually sell this offer, then just join the group in the description, and everything's there. So yeah, join that, and yeah, I hope you have a great day.